Last time we talked about where to find free Wi-Fi on the road, but this time we're going to talk about taking matters into our own hands with using cellular hotspots, either on a dedicated device or on the phone you have right now. So if you haven't watched our video on how to find free Wi-Fi on the road, go click on that and come back and watch this. Anyway, here's a quick overview of Wi-Fi as well as how it compares to a cellular connection. First off, Wi-Fi connects to the internet through a router. It is faster than cellular data and it has truly unlimited data. The disadvantage of Wi-Fi is very short range. As soon as you start driving or even walking away, you're going to go out of range of your Wi-Fi, so you quite literally can't take it with you. Cellular, on the other hand, cellular devices connect to a network of towers. These are the towers you've seen going down the highway or pretending to be pine trees when they're really not. All cellular devices, whether it's a phone or a hotspot, connects to one of these cellular towers. The data rate is typically slower than Wi-Fi because they have to handle a lot more people than your standard Wi-Fi network. And you typically have limited data. There are unlimited plans out there, but that's not actually true. They'll give you a certain amount of data and then they'll either slow down your data above that limit or just cut you off entirely. So you have to kind of watch how much data you use as the month goes on and make sure you're going to have enough full speed data to get through the month with whatever it is you're doing. The reason we put up with these advantages on a cellular connection is long range. When you've got your cellular connection going, you can be driving down the road, watching your Google Maps, listening to your online streaming music provider of choice. Your buddy can be watching YouTube videos or playing games, and it doesn't matter. You just keep doing your internet thing as you go along, and it just goes along with you. There are two main ways to get online using cellular. First is your cell phone. Your smartphone or your cellular-enabled tablet can get you online from the comfort of your own home on wheels. But you may not want to do all your work on a small tablet screen or especially on a small phone screen. So that is where you turn your phone into a hotspot. That will let your laptop computer or whatever else connect to the internet through your phone, basically using it as a Wi-Fi router. Now, the exact steps to do this depend on what device you're using and what version of its operating system, be it Android or iOS, that device is running. So I can't give you a full step-by-step of how to do it, but if you look up your device, personal hotspot, you should be able to find specific instructions to turn it on your phone. Once activated, you turn on your laptop or whatever, and then you search for the Wi-Fi network that your hotspot is generating. So for example, if I was using my phone as my personal hotspot, which is exactly what I did when I first hit the road, I didn't have any equipment then, I just looked for the Wi-Fi network called Justin's iPhone. I selected that, my laptop connected to it, and then I was online like magic. The other way to get online through the cellular network is a standalone hotspot. Something like this, which I have for Verizon, and this one, which obviously I have for T-Mobile, it's printed all over it. Each of these is a hotspot. It is dedicated for data. There is no voice involved with this. It's even difficult to get text messages. It's strictly for putting devices online using data. Standalone hotspots can be a little more complex to use, which is good if you're a power user like me. I used to work in IT, so I configured my own network names and passwords and all that fun stuff, but you don't have to do that. You can use these hotspots basically as they come out of the box with no problem. Functionally, they work the same as your phone's personal hotspot. They get online, they will generate a Wi-Fi network that you can connect your other devices to, and they will put you online. Some advantages of a standalone hotspot over just using your phone is you usually get more data you can use each month through an actual standalone hotspot. For example, my iPhone that I'm recording this on right now, I get 15 gigabytes a month through my Verizon plan as a personal hotspot. That's separate from the unlimited data I use just if I'm watching videos on my phone. My Verizon hotspot gets 30 gigabytes of data per month. And because I got a deal on my T-Mobile plan, I get 100 gigabytes per month on this, which is why when I'm traveling, T-Mobile's my primary. I get a lot more data for a lot less money. So if T-Mobile's so much better, why do I still use Verizon in addition to that? Well, there are a number of reasons. One is that when I started this journey, I already had my cell phone plan through Verizon. So activating my personal hotspot was instantaneous, and all it took was a plan change to enable a little more data on my personal hotspot and a bit more data when I activated my standalone hotspot. So it was easy to just work with what I have, especially because I was pressed for time to get on the road. Also, Verizon has one of the best coverage networks in the US. It's very strong in the Northeast, it's okay in the Southeast, and it's pretty good in the Southwest as well. I can't speak to Pacific Northwest just yet. The problem, of course, was even with a total of 45 gigabytes between the two devices, it wasn't enough for myself and my ex, who was also using the data, to work online for the month. So we needed more data, and I figured the best way to do that was to simply get an additional hotspot. This lets us connect to both the Verizon and the T-Mobile networks. T-Mobile works much better in the Southeast US than Verizon does. It's pretty much king down there. And the original plan involved a lot of travel up and down the East Coast, so that made sense. Plus, they had a good deal going on the plan, 100 gigs for $50 a month. That kind of comes and goes. Unfortunately, when it comes to choosing the best plan, you kind of have to do your own research, shop around, and see what deals are available right at the moment. By the time you watch this video, anything I tell you about is already going to be outdated, so I'm not going to get into that. But I can recommend the Mobile Internet Resource Center, which is a website dedicated to staying on top of all the latest and greatest hardware, software, devices, and plans. There's a lot of data they put out there for free. If you join as a member, as I have, you get some extra juicy secrets. You get to be the first to know when new plans come out that might be of interest to Nomads. I'm not an affiliate, I'm not getting paid to say this. I just genuinely believe it is an excellent resource that you should look into if you're going to pursue cellular data on the road with any degree of being serious. A couple more things to know about cellular internet. Signal strength does not equal data speed. Now let me explain that a bit. When you connect to a cell tower, you'll see your signal strength as anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 bars at the top of your screen, indicating how strong your signal is between your phone and the tower. It's natural to assume that the better your signal, the better your connection is going to be. But that's not always the case. The perfect example is where I am now in Quartzsite, Arizona. Toward the end of December, and especially throughout the month of January with all the shows going on, this area was flooded with travelers, RVers, van lifers, and while I could connect to my Verizon signal, I couldn't get any usable data out of it. It was practically useless. And the same situation existed for everybody else on Verizon as well. The reason was what's known as saturation. There are basically too many people trying to connect to the limited towers in Quartzsite all at the same time. Think of it like an apple pie. If you cut your pie up into 6 pieces, everybody is going to get a pretty good sized piece of pie and be very happy with it. But if you have 50 or 100 people all trying to get a piece of that same pie, it's just not going to work. Nobody's going to get enough pie to be satisfied. And that's exactly what happens with an overloaded cell tower. While you can connect to it okay, you just can't get enough data through to make it work. So you have to get a little smart about how you use it. One way you can find some usable data, even in Quartzsite in January, is to go through the middle of the night. When everybody else is sleeping, they're not using those towers. So there actually is enough data to stream videos or get some work done if you're on a flexible enough schedule that you can shift yourself late enough to get that data. Also, what you do makes a huge difference as far as how well your connection works. If you're streaming videos, you need to have a pretty solid data connection in order to get the audio and the video streaming smoothly without buffering. But if all you're doing is checking email or typing to people on Facebook Messenger or whatever, it's actually going to work pretty well. It doesn't take very much data to get a simple text message or an email through. So what you're doing also makes a difference. So that's the basics of how cellular hotspots work, including your phone. Next time, we're going to dive a little deeper into something I mentioned before, how a strong cellular signal does not necessarily equal better data. And we're going to talk about signal boosters. Signal boosters claim to give you much better reception of the cell tower. But like I said, that's not really where the rubber meets the road. So we're going to talk more about that. Do you need a signal booster? What might work better than a signal booster? We'll get to that next time.